Ooby-doo, it's everyone's favorite boomer and vintage lens enthusiast. Today we're going to be looking at, I'll take this lens hood off, NIKKOR 50mm 1 to 1.4. It's got this the AIS tab, which is, I should take that off, it's annoying. Well, I'll leave it on for now. This is a fine lens. This is one of the best lenses I own. And of course, I tell everybody I'm a Canon guy, but Nikon knocked it out of the park with this lens. One of the first lenses I bought when I had a few vintage lenses I bought many years ago when I was into film. And I went mirrorless about three years ago. And one of the first lenses I bought was a NIKKOR 50mm f1.8, which is a fine lens in and of itself, and you could shoot it wide open all day long and get excellent results. This thing is almost just as good. It's really close, and stopped down to 2.8 or f4. Well, it's going to rival the best of them, and this one is one of the best. I bought this in like outstanding condition, and it was only a slight premium over the NIKKOR 1.8, although I see prices have gone up now. I mean, if you want to get really outstanding examples, you gotta sort of pay extra bucks for them. I'm not sure if this lens is still in production, but it's old school, all metal construction. It's got a rubber ring here. It's fantastic quality. Of course, it's on the Nikon Z50, which is a crop sensor. I want to show you something in the menu real quick. Let's go to menu. Their menu is super active D lighting. That's what we're looking for. I have a normal. Let's see. I have a normal. And what happens is if you overexpose your underexposure a little bit, it allows you some extra, headroom or leg room to bring out the detail that's hidden in the under or overexposed part of the photo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on high. Let's see what that does. Long exposure noise reduction on. High ISO noise reduction is on low. Vignette control is on low. Diffraction compensation is on. Auto distortion controls off. That's about it. Most of the other stuff is done by hitting this button, and then you can change a lot of stuff right there. Okay, so but enough about the camera. I like this camera. It's small, it's lightweight, it's feature rich, it has really good quality. And it pairs favorably with this lens. This is now there's here I gotta show you. It's on the FTZ adapter, of course. There's no contacts there. There's no communication between this lens and the camera at all, right? It's strictly what they call a dumb connection. I'm not saying it's stupid, it's just dumb. But aside from that, I went to the park. It was a sunny morning. I stuck at f8. I varied the ISO somewhat, and of course the shutter speeds, and I got some outstanding results. I mean, if you go into the live view magnifier and you hit the focus at f8, it's easy to hit the focus of your subject. It comes out critically sharp, unbelievable sharp. I mean, if you're having trouble, you may be at one end of the depth of field or the other, and you'll get this acceptable results instead of great results. So I've noticed that all 1.4s are they're not like 1.2s. 1.2s carry a premium, but 1.4s only have a slight premium over f2, 1.9, or 1.8. So you say, oh, well, 1.4, the quality, blah, 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 I want the best of the best. No, you get like one of these Nikons, you can't go wrong. This thing is beautiful, wide open, it's usable. It's somewhat less contrasty, but you can always improve that in post-processing. It may have just the slightest bit of color aberration in the corners, which they say is fixable in post-processing too. But it's so minimal that you can get excellent results right out of the camera at f1.4. And stopping down to f2 is a big improvement, and 2.8 is a really good improvement, I mean, for low light level. And of course, during the day, it was a bright sunny day. I was using ISO 200, ISO 100, and fast shutter speeds to get rid of the boomer shakes. So it's a fine lens, it's small, it's compact. It's not much bigger or longer than the 1.8. I mean, on this camera, it's like nothing. And if you stick it on some other mirrorless camera, the FTZ is a pretty hefty adapter. But if you go with some of the other thumb adapters, it's like nothing is on your camera practically. And it's a telephoto lens. That means if you see some detail that you want to inspect in a corner or somewhere, you could just zoom up on it by cropping it and still get a nice image that doesn't fall apart. And of course, the proof is in the pudding. And what we're going to do is let's jump right into the slideshow, and then you decide. But beware. I mean, this lens is getting pricey, and if you want to get one, you can always go down a couple grades in a condition. Like instead of getting excellent plus or like new, you can just get a very good or a good, and it may be a little bit more scruffy. All you have to do is make sure that the optics are clean, and you're good to go. Let's look at some pictures, shall we? The day started out clear and cold in mid-20s. Around 7 o'clock, right after I went to the supermarket, I drove by this supermarket, and I shot a series of pictures with the 50mm 1.4, which is at 1.4. Then I did a center and corner crop. Then I did f2, which is, this is f2. Then I did, this is just a center crop and a corner crop, right? It's still the same building. I was in the car, I sat there, I didn't move around. Then I went from f2 to f2.8, the center and edge crop again. And you can see it's getting incrementally better, mostly just in contrast. And it sharpens up a little bit. And f4, this is f4 center, and then we're going to look at the corner crop, and you can see that's it. f4, 5.6, f8, you know, you're at the best it's going to be, without a doubt. It's a fine lens. That's all I got to say. And then on the way home, I just stopped in an abandoned Chinese kitchen parking lot, and there's a mountain across the street, a big hill, and I took some pictures at f8, you know, look at ISO 100. Damn, this thing is good. You could actually read that sign. It says private property or something like that, keep out. And now, then I went to the park. And the parking lot is, we had a dusting of snow, and it's like early in the morning, you know, 8:30, and you're going to have some low sunlight, and depending on what side of a hill you're on, you could be in shade. And now here's some duckies. They're 100 feet away or so, and here's a crop, and look at that. That's beautiful. That is fantastic. It's a telephoto lens. The lake, it's this big lake. You can walk around it, depending on what the sky's like. It's either blue or silvery or gray. Today it was blue, and it's just a nice lens. It takes great pictures. It takes great pictures. I mean, you know, it's at f8, everything is sharp and crisp. And look, I'm a Canon guy. I keep saying that. But this is a good lens, and you got to give them credit. And it's old school, all metal. You know, a Canon, their vintage lenses have the FD mount, which has issues, you know, with adapters. And you know, these zebra stripes, shadows, when they fall on a boulder, they give you a contour of the boulder. So here's a telephoto shot, a crop, a 1-to-1 crop, and look at that. It's fantastic. There is some ice there, but not as much ice as I thought there would be. It's a nice lens. I mean, you know, I mean, if the pictures are good in the park, the pictures will be good at anything you want to take with this. There's this strange structure. I'll have to mooch a ride off somebody who's got a boat and check out this island, see what it's all about. And it's a big lake. It would take you practically all day to walk around it. And in some parts may be swampy. You may have to go up and then back down. And these are like close focusing shots, and it's got fine detail. So from infinity to closest focusing, it's great. Check out this rock. Doesn't that look like a head of an alien or something right there? You see that? So I like this park. I could take an hour walk. There's always something to take pictures of. Uh, and, the seasons vary. Now, I just recently got 11 inches of heavy wet snow and it smashed everything down. And then it warmed up and it rained and it all got washed away. And this waterfall was bone dry due to a drought. And now it's sort of gurgling again. Here's some chicanery. And the dusting, it just brings out the land somehow. It changes it. And more zebra stripes. Here's a bee shot, and it's almost like a macro. Here's our duckies again. This is ever so slightly out of focus, but it's still acceptable. That's because I didn't focus it right. It wasn't the lens's fault, it was my fault. Here's weird ice. This is ice. This ice has started to melt, and it was almost invisible. Of course, this ice is so cool. I love this ice. It's like trippy. There's like a pond, a little pond of water, and the ice drained away. The water drained away and left just the ice sheet cover. And here's a perfect example of what it's like. It was brutal cold. It started to warm up, so maybe from like 24, by the time I left, it was like maybe 26 or 27. And the day stayed cold. Oh, that's another thing. The Nikon Z50 works well, and I had a completely charged up battery. But what happened was, I guess the battery was getting cold, and if I take one or two pictures, it would say, it would blink red, it only had one bar. But if I shut the camera off and walked up a couple minutes and took a picture, then it would say it's still full. So this sign is, I use this as a benchmark, and that's fantastic. I zoomed up on that with a crop, and it's a fantastic lens. Yeah, there's this furnace there, and it's the only ancient thing for many miles about, because America's a new nation. This has to be less than 200 years old. I think it was 1847 or something. So it's less than 200 years old, and it's falling to rack and ruin. And all these walls have to be from the same time frame. Of course, it still could be ancient aliens have done it, and it could be immeasurably old, but some people got pyramids and all sorts of ancient places, and all I got is this. But it's the oldest thing around, and it's a big structure, and it sort of looks pyramidal a little bit, or like a mastaba or something. And all these ruins, they're ruins. It's on state property, but they're not, shall we say, preserving it properly. Now, there used to be all cattails here, and they're all gone from the snow. Snow smashed everything down. And here's some more weird ice patterns. It's a great lens. Don't buy a f2. Get the 1.4. So for a couple extra bucks, and you'll be glad you got it when you have a need to do some low light level photography. And this is its small, it's lightweight. It's the Nikon 50mm f1.4 AIS f mount. Go get one. I highly recommend it.